world of education, one of the issues of closest concern is the inclusion of students with learning-related difficulties. Students with SEN or special educational needs are all those students who manifest a specific need for learning. The mirror defines three types of students with SEN: students with physical disabilities, students with disorder related to socioeconomic, linguistical, and cultural factors, students with specific developmental disorders. The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Developmental Disorders classified the specific disorder of the last category among the neurodevelopmental disorders as a group of conditions that occur during the early stage of development. These disorders are characterized by deficits that cause impaired personal, social, educational, or working functioning. This thesis focuses on two of the disorders that most afflict the educational learning process: ADHD, attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder, and the group of SLD, specific learning disorders. The first one is a neurodevelopmental disorder that causes disabling level of inattention, disorganization, and or hyperactivity and impulsivity. Inattention and disorganization involve the ability to maintain attention on a task, apparent listening shortcoming, and losing objects at inappropriate levels for age or developmental stage. Hyperactivity, impulsivity involves an excessive activity, constant agitation and excitement, inability to remain seated at inappropriate levels for age or developmental stage. Specific learning disorders affect different areas in education. SLD can be distinguished in dyslexia that involves impairments in accurate or fluent word recognition, poor decoding and spelling skills. Dyscalculia is a term used to refer to a pattern of difficulty characterized by problems in processing numerical information, learning arithmetic formulas, and making calculation accurately or fluently. Dysgraphia and orthography involves writing-related issues. Ministerial directives extend to all students with SEN the right to personalize their learning and the implementation of intervention measures such as compensatory tools and dispensatory measures. Within the 1994 Salamanca Declaration, the characteristics of the integrated school are outlined. This educational model is still nowadays the focus of discussions and projects to allow all students to receive the same level of education. According to this model, a student with a handicap condition must have a clinical diagnosis aimed to provide him or her a personalized educational plan. However, an excess of widely individualized programming and interventions risks leading the disabled student into a new form of isolation and marginalization, which violates his or her rights to receive adequate psychoeducational and didactic interventions. So a different form of teaching is needed. The inclusive education model is perhaps the most effective way to ensure that every student has the opportunity to receive an education, learn, and develop the skills. Inclusion-based education is also attributable to every student, even if they lack a diagnosis stating their disability. Inclusive systems value the unique contributions of all students and allow diverse groups to grow side by side for the benefits of all. The concept of mixed ability classes introduced by Fabio Caon focuses on the personal qualities of each student. It is a way to look classes as a dynamic system made up of the contribution that every person gives to it and act within it. In fact, differentiated teaching means trying to respond to the different individual particularities and needs of students. One of the main diversity factors in a MAC is the theory of multiple intelligence, developed by Howard Gardner. For him, intelligence is an inherent potential that can be strengthened, and it needs to be evaluated by everyone's ability to solve problems or make things with a relevance in a given context or place. The researchers have pinpointed 8 different types of intelligence that every person is endowed with, but in different proportions. Zone of proximal development is a concept introduced by Vygotsky in 1934. It is crucial for managing the differences in a classroom by giving a relevant role to social mediation in learning process. In fact, Vygotsky states that learning cannot occur without the mediation of a more or equally competent person who plans and guides learning. As a final note in this thesis, a research study conducted at some universities in Israel is cited as an example. The present study consisted of a test, the CSACQ, Students' Adaptation to College Questionnaire, a questionnaire consisting of 52 item self-report questions. This research examined the adjustment to higher education among students with disabilities, with three main goals. First, it was examined whether students with no disabilities adjust better to higher education than students with disabilities. The results indicate lower adjustment scores in students with disabilities as compared to controls. The second game examined the difference among the five groups of students based on the four adjustment subscales. The results indicated that the scores of students with disabilities were lower than those of their peers without disabilities in all four adjustment subscales. The third goal was to identify the unique pattern of adjustment in each group of students with disabilities and examine whether the groups differed with respect of this pattern. The results indicated a significant group for adjustment subscales interaction, taking into account the adjustment subscales as a within subject factors and the group as a between subjects factor. Overall, 469 university and college students in Israel participated in the study, of which 234 had disabilities. The results of the examinations recommend that every college and post-secondary educational institution should be provided with support service for the purpose of assessing the specific needs and difficulties for each type of disabilities.